Okay guys, we're gonna turn this stuff into a macrame keychain. So we're gonna start out, you're gonna just open this up and put it on here. And like magic, I've already done it. You're also gonna need a piece of large clear tape, like packing tape. Okay, so this first one I'm gonna show you is gonna be more like a friendship bracelet. We're gonna take each of our lengths of string and we are going to make them in half with the loop part at the top here. You wanna figure out what order you want your colors to go in. So we're gonna make it sort of like a striping effect. So I'm gonna do yellow, gray, blue. So I'm gonna do my yellow first. I tuck my loop through the hoop and then I'm just gonna pull it under. Okay, and then I'm gonna do the gray one. Okay, you're just pulling it tight up there. And now I'm gonna do the navy blue. It might look black to you on the screen, but it is navy blue. Okay, so now we have all three of them together. Okay, so here's how we're gonna do it. We're gonna make this a little bit different than we would make a friendship bracelet, but we're gonna use the same kind of stitch. So we're gonna make the number 4 with our thread over the first one, and we're just gonna tuck it under. So we're essentially wrapping that thread up, and then we're gonna make it tight up at the top. And then we're gonna make the number 4 again, and pull it under, and pull it up. Now, we're gonna move on to the next one. This is our working yarn. So we're gonna do our number 4 and pull it up. But see how it naturally wants to go here and not all the way to the top? We're gonna let it, all right? So it's not gonna go all the way tight to the top. It's gonna go down a little bit. And now we're gonna go to the next one. So on every thread, you're gonna do 2 times. See, that wants to go down a little bit. We're gonna let it. We want it to be down a little bit. And then for the next one, we do our figure 8. See how it's like in a stairway? All right, and then we're gonna do our last one. Two times on each. Let me see here. See the ones here. So now we're gonna leave that yellow over here, and we're gonna start with this yellow and go do our, gonna do our figure 8, tuck it under and pull it up all the way to the top. You don't want to see any of the colors there. All the way to the top here. Go on to the next one. So again, it's 2 times on each string. You might have a different method of how to hold it in your hands. This is just what's worked for me. want it to be like in a staircase there. I'm gonna go over here. You have to remember to do 2 on each one. If you don't do 2 on each one, it's gonna come out crazy looking. But here's the good thing, you're not cutting anything right now, and so you can just unwrap it. And then we're gonna go here. 1 and 2. And now sometimes it's gonna feel like this last one is always like hanging off of the edge a little bit, but it'll all work out. Okay. So now we start with the one that's on the leftmost here. And we're gonna do the same exact thing. We're just doing that figure 8 and pulling it under, going up to the top, pulling it under, going up to the top. Leave that one, go to the next one. And you'll see whichever one you're working with is getting shorter and shorter because you're using more and more of it, but that's fine. We're just making a keychain. All right, we'll do the next one. 1, 2. All right, I'm gonna speed it up a bit, okay? Okay, so I made it through 6 rows, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now I'm gonna do another couple of rows and we'll see how long it is. It's my assumption that they should be, you know, about 6 inches, but you could certainly make it longer or shorter if that's your preference. If you're going to do it and stop in the middle of it and just like leave it someplace, because you could just leave it taped just like this, I would just say, just make sure that you do 2 on the row that you're stopping on so that if you pick it up again, you know that you did the 2. If you don't do 2 in a row, it might look a little bit crazy. I've had to make this video like 4,000 times, so I don't know if I've told you this already. But you want to make sure that you're doing 2 on each string, 2 of these wraps on each string, or else the knot is just going to come out looking like a little bit crazy and not right. And you just want it to be consistent. Really, I think you could do anything as long as you do it the same every single time, because that'll just make a pattern. And any pattern is good in macrame. Okay, so you're going to make a loop and it's going to be uneven. So you'll have a shorter side and a longer side. And then you're going to put your loop facing down with the shorter side sticking up. And we're going to gather, that's why it's called the gathering knot. We're going to gather everything together and we're going to start wrapping this around everything. While the loop is here. I'm just trying not to let everything go. So you want to wrap it pretty tight. So here I have 3 of these loops. 3 of these, you know, wraparounds. Okay, so you're going to put it through your loop and then leave this alone. And you're going to pull up on the top of your loop. Okay. So now you have it finished here at the bottom. You can cut the loop up here.
You like spiders? Hey, Mom.
And then we can cut this to match the ones that we cut here.
Mom, let's do that pink book.
Okay. Okay, so next we're gonna do a one that looks kind of like a helix. So you're gonna start out again. You're gonna use 2 colors for this one. So let's do gray and pink. And you just have to decide what color you want your thing to be. You could have it be 2 colors, or you could have it be 1. But it will be dictated by, I'm gonna do, all right, so we have pink and gray. So whatever your ones in the middle are, your 2 in the middle are, is what's gonna be covered. These 2 are always gonna be covered. So if you wanted it to just be gray, then you would just do the pinks in the middle. And if you wanted it to just be pink, you would do the gray in the middle. But we're gonna do pink and gray together. So this is called, well, I've been looking in this book. It's called Macrame Made Easy. It's by Harumi Kageyama, and it is available here at the library. And the knot that we're gonna do right now is called a left half knot. So we're gonna make that number 4 shape again, but we're gonna put it over this one, and under this one. Okay? So it is over, over, under. Now this one, we want to go under, under, inside. Okay? So I'm gonna put it under these 2 and inside the loop there. Okay? So when we pull it, it's sort of covering the 2 in the middle, and as we pull it up, it's gonna make a little knot. Okay, so let's do it again. So we're gonna make the number 4, and we're putting it over, over, under, right? Over, over, under. Okay, so this is on top. And now we're gonna take this one and we're gonna put it under here and through this loop. Under here and through the loop. Okay, and now we're gonna pull them up. This guy's shedding a little bit. Okay, so now we're gonna do the same thing again. I'm gonna let this thing go. Now, when you tape your thing down, this one kind of turns while you're doing it. So while you tape your thing down, make sure you don't tape down the turning part, because it will go with you while you're turning. So again, we're gonna do that number 4, over, over, and under this one. And then this guy, we're gonna do under both of these and through this loop. It's gonna make it like turn in a little bit. Maybe we have to do a few more. All right, let me speed it up. So you see it starting to turn here? It's supposed to do that. So it's gonna be like a helix. I'm gonna keep going. Okay, so here for the end, we have our middle part, and we're gonna trim one of those. We just need about 9 inches. I have a little bit more than that. So whichever of your things is the longest, or whichever one you want a little bit more color of. So what you're gonna do is you're just gonna make a loop. Again, this is how we ended the other one. So you're gonna make a loop, and you're gonna have it uneven. So there'll be a shorter end and a longer end. And you're gonna place the loop with the shorter end sticking up towards your work and the loop end coming down. Okay? And then we're just gonna gather everything. This is called a gathering knot. So if you don't understand what I'm doing and you wanna take a look on YouTube, there's lots of other ones, tutorials on it. But essentially you're gonna start looping it around all of these different strings here, right? And you can make it as long or as short as you want. The loop is here. You're just gonna keep wrapping it until either you're running out of string or you feel like it's long enough. I'm gonna make this one pretty long, so I wanted to see what it'll look like. Okay, so now you're gonna stick it through this loop, right? And then you leave the end alone, and you're gonna pull the string that holds the loop up. And that is what creates the knot. I'm just gonna pull it tighter and tighter until it is super tight. Okay, and now we're just gonna cut it here, up at the top. And we're gonna leave our string at the bottom, and we're just gonna trim all the strings to be the same length. And now, when we pull it off, here's our keychain. So we have this kind or this kind. You could do either or. If you do this kind and you don't do the bottom part, you don't wrap it, and you don't like it, you can always take it apart and make this one. All right,